Vex Network.
This is Dumb for Love, a twice-monthly podcast celebrating hope, heartache, and the ridiculous lengths humans will go to in the name of love. What's the dumbest thing you've done for love?
Hi, I'm Jean Morrison, your host of Dumb for Love. This podcast is a safe place to talk about all the dumb shit we've done in the name of love. These past few episodes have been a blast, and I wanted to take a moment and thank all of my brave guests that have made this show happen, and all of our amazing and loyal fans for tuning in. We have a lot of fun and exciting things coming up, so make sure to continue to tune in. As a musician, I felt that it was very important to incorporate music into the show, and so I would like to use this platform to showcase independent artists. If you have music that you would like to submit to be featured on our show, we would love to hear it. Please go to dumbforlove.com, click on Artist Submissions, and let the fun begin. Are your BFFs telling you to move on, saying your heartache story doesn't matter? Well, it does to us. We would love to have you on our show to share with us your story. Let us be there for you. But if you're too shy to actually be on our show, there are other ways you can do it. We call them Dumb for Love Quickies. You can call and leave a voicemail, share your story via email, or we'll read it on the air. So for more information on how, go to dumbforlove.com. That's DUMB4LOVE.com. Also, make sure to follow us on social media via @dumbforlove. You can also sign up for our mailing list on our website. And there's more. We have a segment on our show called Jean's Callouts. Think of it almost like an anti-dedication. So instead of, Bill, I love you so much, let's get back together, it's more like, Bill, you slept with my sister, I hope you fall in a well. I would like to take a moment to wish our special guest on the show today a very happy birthday. May all of your wishes come true, and I hope this sets a happier tone for your birthdays in the future. So with that said, enjoy the ride. Let's get on with the show. On today's show, we have Jen coming to us all the way from North Carolina. How's your day going today, Jen?
Oh, it's going wonderful. How's yours?
Even better now because I'm on here with you.
Oh.
I cannot wait to hear all the juicy details of this epic saga.
Yeah.
So let's get right on into it. If your story had a title, what would it be called?
The first thing that comes to mind is the Bermuda Triangle, which I know is weird.
I like it.
You know, it's an adventure, and it's like uncharted territory, and it's exciting and stuff.
I'm sure our listeners are dying in anticipation, so let's hear it.
Okay. Well, I guess the best way to tell this is to go to the very beginning. So this is a polyamorous story. I'll start with that. That way everybody kind of has a clue, hence the Bermuda Triangle part there. But there was a primary relationship that existed prior to this particular poly relationship that the story is actually about. So the primary relationship was with me and a guy named Wes. I'm not changing names, by the way. I'm not hiding anything. The good people in this story, if there's any mention, their names will be changed. But yeah, the bad people, calling them out. So anyway, I had known Wes for several years before I dated him. Me and another boyfriend of mine were friends with him and his wife. And that's actually how we met. We all had the same tattoo artist, and me and Wes's wife worked together. So that's basically how we all met.
Okay.
And then after those relationships fizzled out, Wes and his wife had moved away to Wilmington, and their relationship ended. Me and my former boyfriend, I'll call him Scott, that's fine. Anyway, it's too late. I don't know what his name is now. It's fine.
Okay, Scott.
I'm just going with his real name. It's Scott. It's fine. It's easier that way. He's a good guy, though. So anyway, so yeah, our relationship had fizzled out, and like we were done. And with that relationship, that was 9 years, and Wes and his wife were together for 12. So it was kind of like a big transition for us. I had some work in Wilmington, so I ended up reconnecting with him, and we started dating. We paired well together. We were a good match. You know, I'm from a small town. You can't be bi. You can't, whatever. You're supposed to be straight, and you're supposed to do this, and it was a lot of that. And so I had tried to stifle my sexuality for a very long time to be quote unquote normal or more palatable, I guess, for, my family and the people that I was accustomed to. But after my relationship of being monogamous in a straight, regular relationship, for 9 years, I wasn't happy. So I was ready to kind of explore and do things differently. So I had told Wes right at the very beginning that in a perfect world, what I would like is a poly relationship. I didn't really know, the type I wanted. I'd entered into one prior to this, so it's not like it was my first rodeo. I knew things that I didn't want, but, I basically told him that this is how it's going to be. If you want to be with me, we're going to enter this relationship, but there's going to be some aspect of a poly here. And he had never done anything like that. He was actually really hesitant, and he was like, I'm not really interested. If you want to, sleep with girls on the side, that's fine, but I'm not really interested in being a part of it. And I'm like, that's fine too. When he and I first started dating, I actually moved him into my house. And so he wasn't paying rent or anything. I was paying for everything. He was going through some hard times after the divorce. And so I moved him in, took care of him, got him together. He got his old job back and blah, blah, blah. So life went on. Everything was great. Then when I decided to do the poly, came to him and I was like, it's time, and how do you want me to do this? This is, pretty much how it goes. You're supposed to have this conversation.
Let me ask you a question really quick. So at this point, when you come to him and you're thinking about revisiting this, are you in love with him?
Yeah, I was definitely in love with him by then.
Okay.
I actually fell for him very quickly. And I think we were together for about a year when I said, okay, it's time. I'm ready.
Right. Okay.
We were a perfect fit, and the trust was there because that was a big thing for me. Yeah, I wanted to do poly, and I knew I'd want to do that, but the trust is a big deal. And so I needed to make sure that he was in it for the long haul and that, our relationship was established and solid before entering into anything like that. So yeah, we had dated at least a year.
Right. I mean, there are a lot of people that have a misconception of what a polyamorous relationship is. It's not about aimless sex and orgies. It's about sharing your love with more than one person in a way that makes everyone involved happy and comfortable, Everybody thinks it's like a free-for-all sexcapade, and it's not.
Exactly. And that's exactly how it was. And that's exactly how I wanted it to be. We have such a perfect love. Everything is great. I'm happy. I'm over the moon happy. I've got everything I ever wanted. Let's share this with somebody else because sexually, I have that desire for the same sex, and, let's just grow what we have is kind of the way I see it.
So you were basically looking to bring another woman into this.
Yeah. Well, we did entertain actually bringing a guy in at one point during this. That was a little blip on the radar, just because he was kind of curious. He was like, oh, well, maybe we should bring in a guy, test the waters. And
right.
That wasn't really my cup of tea. And it ended up not really being his cup of tea either. But, I figured, for love, let's try it. I don't know.
Right.
So, yeah. So, I mean, it was a very open, situation in that respect, as far as honesty and communication. And it wasn't meaningless. I'm not going to say
right.
I didn't have any meaningless, connections, but.
So when you thought to bring in other people, whether it was guys or girls, was it just sexual? Was it a sexual thing at this point? Or did you have relationships with them?
Well, okay. So at the beginning, the way that I thought would make us both more comfortable is if it was primarily sexual.
Okay.
Because we didn't want to overcomplicate what we had. And because I was trying to slowly get his feet wet, because he's that strong, silent type and, and secretly very sensitive. And so, this was a very different transition for him. So I thought, maybe introducing it in a just sexual way would be the better way to go. So, yeah, it definitely started as primarily sexual. But then, in my perfect world, I wanted it to be a lot more than that. But, yeah, at the beginning, it was just, oh, here's the lady. Well, she's cute, oh, here's another lady. And it was very much like that, at first.
Right. Ooh, look at her over there.
Ooh, cute, shiny stuff. Look.
That sounds like me.
So, yeah.
Ooh, look at her over there.
You're like, ooh. Yeah, it was very much like that at first. So it was very lighthearted and fun, and I wanted to keep it that way, but right. I wanted it to be a little more serious, in a perfect world. What I wanted was a live-in situation with, my primary relationship and a woman. And that's what I wanted was this, trifecta of happiness and, happily ever after is what I'd hoped to have.
So Now it's about a year later and you want to have this convo again with him. So you revisit it.
So, yeah, we kind of revisited it because it was like, okay. So our very first one, out of respect to him, I'm not going to go into details about the first one, but I'll say it didn't go as smooth as...
So maybe not get into the detail, but maybe a little bit of the detail. When you say that it didn't go as smoothly as you had hoped, can I get a little bit of a reason why? Because you can't just slip that by me here.
Yeah, I didn't know how to word it. So I was like, I got to figure out how to skip this part craftily, but I didn't know how.
Okay. Hey, you know what? It's my show. You could do whatever you want here. You could say whatever you want. If it's a little bit dirty, if it's going to come off a little bit, it's totally fine. I mean, it's me.
I don't know how to tell this story in a G-rated fashion later. I'm not really sure how to do that. So
I am on the show, so you should know right there, this is not going to be a G-rated show.
Okay. I didn't think so.
Unless it's like a G-spot rated show, then that's different. But
definitely going to go that way.
You can be as dirty as you want. Just take your time, give me all the details, and just go for it.
Okay. Well, I had this new friend, and I thought she was just the cutest thing in the whole world. I absolutely adored this girl, and he knew her too. And I had met her on a dating site originally. So when I revisited this with him, he said he was ready. Me and this girl would go and have coffee or dinner together, or we'd go to the bar or whatever, you know, and it wasn't really sexual. Like, I was into her, and, I think she was into me, but like it never went there because I, obviously wanted to wait and talk to Wes about it before I did anything.
Nice.
Respect, again, communication. So one night, her and I go out and had dinner, and we were talking very candidly, and I mentioned to her what I want to do, and she said, in my world, that's exactly what I'd like to do. And I'm like, oh, cool, and I explained to her that this was new and that he was nervous about it and blah, blah, blah.
Ooh la la.
And, but that we had just had this conversation, and he's like, okay. So she was like, I'm ready, let's go. And I'm like, all right. So I literally texted him, and I was like, boom, it's on, and like, I'm all excited because I'm like, yeah, it's about time. I've been waiting a while for this. So I'm pretty pumped. And,
she is DTF.
He was so, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And, so we showed up and we're like, yeah, it's going down, and everything went smoothly until he was just too nervous, honestly. And that's the thing, I think, with a lot of guys, they always want a threesome, and they're waiting for that moment their whole life. And then when it happens, some of them are just so nervous they can't perform. And that's basically what happened.
Erectile dysfunction. Yeah. I whispered it for you out of respect. But I have a feeling that everybody's going to hear me anyway. So he was not able to salute during the proper time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just nerves overwhelmed him. And I genuinely, like, in that moment, like, I felt bad. It's cool. I handled her, and it was totally
You
fine.
handled her. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I did the work of two people, and, we still had a great time. And he just kind of, hung out in the room.
So he could not handle his business. You fucked her good, made sure she didn't even realize anybody else was not doing their job, and she was a happy camper. And how was it? Did you love it?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, it was super amazing because I'd been into her for a while, and in all honesty, like, just the buildup of, like, waiting for this moment, because like I said, I've been stifled for 9 years, and, in between that 9-year relationship and me getting with him, like, I flirted with a few girls, but it really wasn't anything. So at that point, it was like literally the first girl I'd been with in many, many years. And so it was just, fireworks for me.
Delicious.
It was great. I don't know how she was, but she was definitely all right.
That's awesome. So he was unable to perform his sexual duties at this time, so you handle it. Yeah. So what's next?
So what happens next, fast forward a bit, because after that I realized he wasn't ready. And so, I was like, okay. And that was honestly enough for me to kind of like last me for a while, I guess, So still remained good friends with that girl. We hung out all the time. There was a lot of flirting. Like, it was great. But that was my only time with her, kind of like, regular flirting and stuff, And I explained to her that, because obviously she was there. She knows. She asked if I wanted to try again or whatever. Basically, it was just like, I don't think that's a good idea. You're nervous, and, maybe some more time needs to happen, and blah, blah, blah. And then she ended up, in a relationship, and she moved away. So a little bit of time passes, flirting with this girl, flirting with that girl. It was very innocent stuff, And then enter a girl, let's call her Veronica.
Okay.
Veronica was a client of mine. She had moved here not long before. We really hit it off. Like, she was great. And it was very similar to the other, relationship where, we're hanging out all the time, and I really liked her. And, there was definitely some sexual tension there. And she had been also stifled in her relationship, had been with girls, but it was a long time ago, that sort of thing. So it just kind of evolved into, this thing. And so at that point, Wes basically was like, if you want to sleep with a girl, go sleep with a girl, like, whatever. So during that time from girl A to girl B here, it was a lot of flirting and whatnot. And so this situation presented itself. And so I started sleeping with Veronica, and that was great. And then, he decided, he thought maybe he was ready, and he understood the situation with the former girl and what had happened and the nerves and all that.
Right.
And so, she didn't really care about whether he was involved or not. It was really more about me. But she was also okay, with him being there, being in the room, whatever. So he was, in the room sometimes, not in the room sometimes. So it was like a few months of this until basically like it finally worked, and it was, he wasn't nervous anymore. And I'm not going to lie, that was the best sex life I've ever had. It was almost 2 years with her.
Oh, wow. Well, was it just a friendship or did you have feelings?
Yeah, definitely caught feelings. I never really explained to her the level, and she didn't to us either. But it was a very mutual, loving, I don't know, it was like a best friend thing,
Right.
kind of, I hate to call it a friend with benefits, but I mean, it definitely started with a friendship, and it blossomed into more than that. And, and I'm still friends with her. I still talk to her, regularly. I still, have very fond memories and thoughts of this girl. And, I wish her the best in life. I can't say anything bad at all. That part of this whole situation, if anything, it let me think that I was on the right path and that this was exactly what I wanted to do. But there wasn't a possibility of anything long-term with her for various reasons. But I was happier than I'd ever been, at that point. It was everything I'd ever wanted.
So you were in a really good place because you were both in love with each other and you were able to share this experience. Yeah. And it was beautiful because you both had this whole life that you had built together. Yeah. So you just wanted to add to it, not take away, add.
Yes, exactly. And that she was a perfect addition. I mean, she's a beautiful soul. She's creative. She's smart. She was perfect. She was very understanding, very caring.
Right.
And the sex was incredible. It was perfect. It was really perfect. And it was the same way for them, I mean, it was beautiful all the way around. It was very equal. There was a lot of communication. There was a lot of trust. We were able to explore a lot of interesting things, that maybe most people don't get to.
Like what, Jen?
Like what? Like, you name it, man. It was like having a live porn show in my bedroom, you know what I mean? Like, no holds barred. I mean, we're talking DP. I mean, she was fine with, like, money shots. Like, I mean, we're talking anything. It didn't even matter. Like, just no holds barred. Anything you want to do to me, I'm yours. And I'm like, holy shit.
Now it's a
great.
party.
And yes. And it was wild. I would fuck her in public. Three-way in a, pool hall bathroom is pretty exciting, So there was just a lot of weird places. It was so good that there were injuries. I actually broke my wrist during a sex ordeal with him. And it was totally worth it. 0 fucks. And I finished. I did not stop because of the wrist either. I went ahead and switched to my elbow and powered through.
You are a professional. You are a trooper. You're like, no. Broken, fuck that.
There's a minor inconvenience. I'll deal with it tomorrow. That's pretty much what he said.
Yeah, broken arms, huh? And bathroom sex? Gene and bathroom sex? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my God, I remember an incident with you and bathroom sex, and it was awesome because we were having a conversation one time. You said, I'm sorry, I have to go to the bathroom. And right before going in the bathroom, there was like the hottest girl there, and you literally just grabbed her and pulled her in the bathroom. And I was like, this bitch has so much game. I love her. Like, I want to be her when I grow up. It was one of the hottest things. And then you came right back and we finished our conversation without even missing a beat. It was fabulous. So yeah, I know about you and bathroom sex, ma'am. The girl was wearing a dress and
I don't know what you're talking about.
I remember everything about it. It was hot. And you probably have 5 girls listening to this right now. Oh, that's me right now.
I'm just going to sit here kind of quiet. Okay, so Jen, back to your Dumb for Love story. So broken bones, bathroom sex in public, all good things.
It was that kind of thing. You've been in this thing where you have a safe word, but you don't even use it. Like, you were having such a great time, you forgot your damn safe word. It's like that.
Baby,
where you don't even know.
I don't have a safe word.
Yeah. We forgot the safe word. Like, somebody asked, and we were all like, I don't even know. And like, we kind of just made up one on the spot because
banana.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Congratulations. That is what it was. Somebody, sprung it on us, and she just blurted out banana, and it just kind of stuck. And so,
holy shit,
yeah.
I'm clairvoyant when it comes to sex.
But yeah, I mean, it was great.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. And so Veronica and you are hitting it off. Everything's good with you and your guy. Now what?
So basically, that relationship kind of, I don't want to say fizzled out, but we collectively decided that, that we were done and ready to move on to other things. Because like I said, for me, I think they were okay. I just realized that if this didn't have the long-term potential that I wanted, that I didn't want to waste any more time or, feelings and all this stuff if it wasn't going to evolve to the place that I wanted it to evolve. And so I realized, in a long-term scenario, like I said, it just wasn't going to work. And so, I basically, sat down and, I had that conversation with Wes and was like, this is great. She's amazing and I love her and I want to stay friends with her. But we have to start thinking about like long-term, and that's not going to work.
Right.
And so there was no hard feelings. Everybody was fine about it. And to be fair, we had actually kind of tried to stop a couple times before we actually did stop. That's why I say roughly 2 years, because I want to say this went on for, I don't know, like a year. And then we were like, no, we're not going to do it. And then it was like 3 more months. It's like, okay, we're going to do this, and then it just kept, because it was really hard to quit her, to be honest. The dynamic just worked so well. It was hard to just stop.
Yeah, good sex could be like a drug.
And it was very much like that, especially like on that level. Like it was really hard to stop. So anyways, we finally ended up stopping, and there was, here or there, girls like blah, 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 nothing really worth mentioning. And then comes Carol.
Mm-hmm. Carol.
The biggest mistake of my life. And, a name like that, I should have known better.
Look at Carol sitting over there eating her crackers like she owns the place.
Okay, so when I met her through a photographer friend during a shoot. I didn't know very much about her. It was just, here's this girl that's going to shoot today and blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. I thought she was hot, but she wasn't really my type. However, with Wes, he and I, because I had picked out all the other girls, promised him when we stopped seeing Veronica that the next one I would let him pick. We had similar taste in chicks, so you can pick the next one and, I'll land it because I was always the wingman one, obviously.
Nice.
I'd go in and be like, yeah, got you. So I met this girl through a photo shoot thing, and she seemed nice. She was young. I don't know. I've always been a collector of damaged souls, is what I say. And she was very much a damaged soul. And so when I see these kind of people, I always want to take care of them or help or be supportive in some way, and I think it's just, repairing pieces of myself or something. So when I met her, it was very much like that. It was, oh, you're so sweet and so kind and you're so pretty and cute, but you're a train wreck and you need some help. I just, you had a shit hand in life, and I just kind of bonded to her, I guess, because of that need to help her and whatever.
Right.
But I think when I met her, I don't think she was employed. I think she was mostly unemployed is what I'm going to say. I know she worked at like a Jimmy John's or something like that. So like that should have been a red flag, the fact that she had a child and, she wasn't really working, and that just already seemed bad. Most single mothers that I know are the hardest working people on the planet.
Oh yeah.
And, for this single mother to be not really working like that, should have been a big flag, and it wasn't at the time.
Okay.
So anyway, but Wes was like, this one, I want this one. And I'm like, cool, piece of cake. The problem was she was straight. And that was also another red flag, because Lord knows the last thing I need is a challenge like that.
So you meet her, and then you bring her around him, and then he sees her and he says, I want her.
He actually saw her at the photo shoot that I met her at.
Okay.
Yeah, because she came to my house to get ready for the shoot.
Okay.
And we actually did the shoot at our house.
Okay.
So he did see her briefly then and was just like, yeah, she's perfect. And I'm like, all right. So yeah, she didn't really have any friends. That should have also been a red flag. Basically, not a very hardworking person, not holding down, a job really.
And she has no friends.
And the fact that she didn't really have a lot of friends. During the courtship part, we actually had met 0 friends. There was one friend that I met, which was, like her best friend or whatever, and also was her neighbor. So that was the only friend that we had met. And then later I found out after everything that they were really just neighbors, and they had only met twice before the time that I met this girl.
What? And so she told you that was her best friend?
Yes. And so but I never thought to ask,
Right.
I didn't ask the other girl, no, you're best friends. How long you know each other? It didn't really come up, honestly. So in hindsight, when I discovered that years later, I was just blown away that they didn't even really know each other. So anyway, so this girl didn't really have any friends. In addition to that, she also didn't have any family around either. Again, another red flag. flag. But Wes, he was picking the girl and I had committed. And so I was kind of just like, all right, that's fine. We'll do this one,
Mm-hmm.
So we went on a pretty short courtship, honestly. I've had a thing with straight girls before, and it either never happens or it'll happen, but just like once or twice.
Yeah.
With this one, it was a really slow-going process. I would say the courtship lasted like maybe a month at the most. Then she was about to get evicted out of her house that she was renting.
Oh.
Yeah. And so after only dating her, I guess you'd call it dating without goodnight kisses, it was a lot of wasted time, I guess you would say. Not because she wasn't putting out, it was wasted time because how it ended up going. But she was being evicted out of her place. I remember she had invited us over and we walked in, the house was a complete disaster, like not the kind of environment that you would like have a child in. It was just filthy and nasty and, there was just stuff everywhere. And I'm not super judgy, I'm from a small town and I'm accustomed to like lots of different types of, houses, but this was a little too far considering she didn't work and had all this time that she could have cleaned and chose not to, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyways, when we left, Wes was like, I have a brilliant idea.
I'm sure he does.
Why don't we let her move in? And I naturally did not think that was a good idea because number one, she's straight. Number two, we don't really know her. Number three, we just started doing all this. And at that point, we hadn't even slept with her yet. And I'm like, we don't know this girl. We don't really know anyone that does know her, other than this one girl. And so it just seemed like a bad idea. And so I tell him, I'm like, I understand you want to help her out and I understand she's got a kid and like, we want to help, but I just don't know if that's such a good idea. But ultimately, it was kind of more his decision than mine because the place we were staying in, his family actually owned it. So he had more of a say than I did, technically, when it came to the actual location.
Okay, wait. I'm going to stop you right there because I love you. And I'm just going to say this. For everybody tuning in, if you are with someone and you are committed, whether you are married or living with them, they do not have the motherfucking say of who gets to move into your house when you guys are a couple. As a partnership, you both decide. And if one doesn't think it's a good idea, then guess what? It doesn't happen. So, no, I love you. I think you're being fair. But I'm going to tell you something right now. That was a dick move. He was being an asshole. And he just wanted what he wanted.
I agree.
And I don't give a shit who owned that house. That was not enough reason to say you don't get a say.
Totally agree with you. Again, this is how I was dumb. This is leading up to me being an idiot. So I completely agree. And now that would never fly. And at the time, it kind of made sense.
Because you were in love and you were trying to just make him happy because you felt like he was making you happy by giving you what you wanted.
Right.
And you were in love. And that's kind of the point of this whole show.
Exactly. And I honestly thought that maybe I was wrong. I wasn't 100% sure it was a bad idea because there was a piece of me that is exactly what I always wanted,
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like, that's like a ready-made family. Like, cool, she has a kid, Wes had a kid. So it's like, oh, the three of us, in this place. But there was a bigger piece that was like, this is not logical because of all these other factors, not because of whether I want her there or not. At that point, it was really nothing other than there are some red flags, and this hobosexual thing is, started to kind of evolve. That's what I call it, a hobosexual thing.
Okay.
So essentially, I realized that she was entering into this relationship to avoid being homeless because she had nowhere to go and no savings. And so I didn't know for sure that's what was happening, but it definitely seemed that way,
Yeah.
And because as she was getting closer to being evicted, she became closer to us. It was about roughly a week later that we slept with her the first time. She came over about 5 or 6 days or something after that time we were at her house. I mean, we're talking 0 to 100. We went from no kiss goodnight to here I am in all my nakedness. Have at it,
She was trying to land the deal.
Exactly. And in hindsight, that was exactly what I realized. But, the thought crossed my mind that this was not for the same intentions that he and I had, So I went ahead and agreed. So we went over and, we moved everything ourselves. She couldn't even afford a moving company or anything. So it was really just me, her, and him. And we packed everything and we loaded everything and we put all of her stuff in storage. She had left a bunch of stuff behind. It was like dirty or gross or like damaged or whatever. Her daughter's bed was actually one of my beds that I had. So, I gave her a bed and I put a little entertainment center, a little TV. Like I tried to, make it a cute little room, like I painted it and, so we were trying. And the little girl was great. Like I loved having the little girl around, playing dress up. I don't have any kids. And so that was like, I hadn't really had a lot of interactions. Mm-hmm. So for me, the kid was a big selling point because it was something that I always wanted. I had this like kind of pseudo daughter there that I could play Barbies with and stuff. And that was really exciting. So I think that kind of overshadowed everything a lot as far as the flags and stuff, because at that point it was, oh, look at this cute little girl. I get to braid her hair and stuff,
Yeah.
So that was really fun.
So you kind of felt like you had this new little family.
I felt like I had a family, even though things were a little awkward.
And how was the sex? Was she more with him? Was she with you?
Oh, God, it was awful.
Really?
It was awful. And I'm not just saying that because I hate her guts. I'm saying it because it was really awful.
Why was it awful?
There's a difference between being inexperienced and just not wanting to be there. And when we first met Carol, we had a mutual friend, and so that friend had actually already told her about us. So when I first met her, she knew about us being poly. And then after a few times of hanging out, I made it clear to her that I was interested in her and that Wes was interested in her, and that if she was interested, we were interested. And that's when she told me that she was straight, but she was curious. So I attributed it to, it's just nerves, she doesn't know how, she's never been in this kind of situation and this, and I attributed it to so many things.
Yeah.
It wasn't as natural as what I was used to, with Veronica and whoever, I can't explain it. Like, she didn't really put in any effort. It was very much a pillow princess, I call, like a starfish. That's one of the terms. Yeah, pillow princess, starfish, whatever you want to call it. It was, I'm going to lay here and look cute because that is, Lord knows, the only skill I have is my look.
Right.
And it was very much like that.
Okay. Gotcha.
And, so it was just very dull and uneventful. And I will say, there was a point after those initial few months where the sex did increase and get a lot better. So I attributed the beginning part to just being awkward and whatever. But she tried later, and it did improve. But at the beginning, it was beyond awful. It was just awkward, really awkward, and felt very forced. So
yeah, gross. Since she was straight, how was she with you sexually? Did she try things, or?
She never really made an effort. No, she never went down on me. She would kiss me, she'd play with my tits and stuff like that, and she'd let me do anything I wanted to her.
Okay.
But she never went down on me. She never even attempted it. She did eventually get to the point where she would use a dildo or, her hands or something like that, but she never went down on me with, orally with her mouth.
So she was trying, kind of.
Kind of, yeah. She definitely got to a place where she was trying a lot more than, honestly, I expected her to. Right. We were using, double-ended dildos at one point, and, that was kind of a big deal, for her anyway. That was, it was quite a evolution,
Right. Right.
I was, definitely more satisfied then when she was putting an effort. And then outside the bedroom, we were really close. We would cuddle and watch TV, and I'd play with her hair, and we'd do photo shoots, and it worked really well outside of the bedroom. And then in the bedroom, it was him and her focused, and less Jen focused. And that did kind of suck.
So when you say him and her focused, was she paying more attention to him? Was he paying more attention to her? Or?
Oh. No, both of them would get dual attention, but then when it was Jen's turn for attention, he would, of course, give me full-on attention, and she would kind of just, I'm going to touch your boobs a little bit, or I'm going to make out with you, or here's a dildo, It wasn't the same as her and I both with him, or him and I both with her, if that makes sense.
So here you are painting the room, and you're setting up the TV and making them feel at home and kind of feeling like a mom to her daughter. And then what happens?
Like I said, she was a little bit damaged and broken. And so, I was helping her with stuff. She had a car, but it was broken down. And I can't remember exactly what the deal was with the car, but essentially there was an issue with the DMV relating to the plates and her driver's license and other stuff. And she didn't even have a bank account, this girl. So not only did I pay to get her a bank account, but I also, took her to the DMV and I got her car straight. We paid up her old taxes or whatever that was preventing her from getting on stuff. So I did all this financial stuff, to help her out, to get her car running, to get it on the road, basically. Yeah. So I'm at that point giving 110%. Not only am I, sharing my home, and I'm sharing food, and I'm sharing my life, my boyfriend, but, I'm also trying to benefit her in life, whether she was with us or not. I was trying to essentially kind of get her where she needed to be, in life, trying to, better her existence, I guess you would say.
Which is very, very nice. It's way nice.
I didn't didn't feel like it was anything extraordinary because, I mean, I do that for anybody I'm with, whether it's a friendship or otherwise.
But that's still an extraordinary thing to do. Like, most people wouldn't. They'd probably let them stay there and then they'd be like, hey, you have 2 weeks or whatever. But the fact that you went out of your way, I mean, I know that that's normal for you. I'm just trying to tell you that that's exceptional.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
A lot of people wouldn't do that.
Okay.
And the moment that girl did not have a bank account or friends, I would have been, like I said in the last episode, criminal. I would have been like, this bitch is wanted by the cops. She's a murderer. But you are super, super nice. And you just thought, here she is, a single mom with a kid. And if I could do some stuff to help her get ahead, then I'm going to do it. And that's a very sweet thing to do. And I just think that you should know that.
Oh, thanks. I didn't really think about that, honestly. I just figured anybody would do that in my situation. Honestly, I didn't think it was extraordinary at all. I thought it was just normal. I don't know.
No, it's not.
Well, thanks. I feel good now. I didn't know that. That's awesome. That makes the end of the story even worse, though. Now I'm like really angry.
Oh, I know, but I mean, yeah, that was a super, super sweet thing to do. So you help her with her taxes. You pay off almost all her shit so that she can get a bank account and a car and everything else. And then?
Yeah, whatever. It was a lot of stuff. I don't remember, but I know it took a little while to get it all squared away, like a couple months, to get it all sorted out.
Right.
This whole thing from start to finish with her was about 1.5 years, to give you an idea of like roughly how long this was.
Okay.
So things went well for a while. She was putting in effort. She was trying, blah, blah, blah. Then sexually, there was like 2 main things that were going on that started being a problem for me.
Okay.
Number one, sexually between the 2 of them, it started becoming a little more about the 2 of them. There were moments sexually where from start to finish for the entire like sexual act, including foreplay, where I wouldn't get penetrated at all. And it's not like, oh, it needs to be even. I'm not that kind of girl. I'm a voyeur. I like to watch. So it wasn't like that. But there was definitely a progression of him and her having sex and Jen watching. It just became a little more coupley, I guess, than what I wanted. And I felt a little excluded. And, and a little jealous, too. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I wasn't jealous. I definitely was. My feelings were hurt because I'm doing all this stuff and, and I'm adjusting my life to accommodate these 2 additional people in my house.
Yeah. And there definitely is a difference between like wanting to watch and all that stuff and then starting to see that they're getting more intimate, attached, connected. It's like they're kind of seeking each other out. So that is the problem.
Yeah. If they were just getting more intimate, like, I don't think that would have bothered me as much. Like, because, him and Veronica were intimate. And like having feelings for each other and like becoming more intimate, I'm okay with that. But me feeling distant while that's happening is really more of the issue. Like, it wasn't watching them be intimate. It was they're getting closer and I'm getting further away, and that was more of the problem.
So you start to feel uncomfortable, like something's off.
Yes.
When you're seeing them be together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So that was probably the first indicator that things weren't quite right. And it was really subtle and started kind of slow. But then I started noticing outside of that, there were issues with, there's typical roommate issues anytime you live with someone where it's, oh, they're not doing their fair share of the, housework, or they're not doing the dishes, or, they're not cleaning up and blah, blah, blah. The entire time she lived with us, she didn't have a job at all. I did get her a job where I was working. I had a part-time, job on the side, house mom at a strip club. And I had gotten her a job there as a shooter girl. And she only went in for like maybe 6 shifts at the most. And that was the only job she had. Towards the end of the relationship, briefly, she did work at like a food line or something like that, making cakes. But that food line thing was so brief. So for 1.5 years, she basically did not work, which was a huge problem.
Right.
And she was always, oh, I'm looking, and it was always that. I had hired her a couple times to help me with photo shoots or something like that. But, she wasn't doing her share of the housework either. And Wes didn't really realize this because, he would come home from work, he would work out, he would take a shower, watch TV for a couple hours, and then pass out. Like, he was really absorbed in work, and my schedule was really sporadic. I'd have 2 days off, 3 days off. I'm vacuuming and washing dishes and doing all this stuff.
Jeez.
And she's playing Call of Duty all day.
No.
In her underwear. And at first it was hot. I'd come home and this hot chick sitting there on the computer in a thong and a T-shirt playing Call of Duty. I'm like, man, I'm living the life, at first.
At first.
But then very quickly that sucked.
Yeah, because she's there all day. She has no job. It's like, wash a dish, do something.
Do some laundry. Anything. Like, you could even just check the fucking mail would be nice. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God.
It was that. So that was a problem for me. And it had stayed a problem the whole time, but it became worse of a problem as time went on, because like I said, I'm working my part-time job at the strip club Thursday through Sunday. I think I would leave home around 5 p.m. or whatever. Wes would usually get off work around 4 in the afternoon. So I'd hang out with him for like an hour, maybe have dinner with him, and then I'm off to work. And then, of course, I had my day job too. So I'm running around doing hair and makeup and photo shoots and whatever. So Thursday through Sunday, she had him all to herself. And that allows for obviously more intimate whatever. So I'm working a lot. I'm rarely home. And when I am home, it's hurry up and do laundry, dishes, hurry up and do this.
Let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. So in your arrangement, were they allowed to fuck each other while you were gone or not?
No, they were not.
Okay.
That was something I was never comfortable with, especially with her. Now, It would be different if Veronica, I'd never allowed that, but I probably would have. Just because for my own, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable with that, personally speaking.
Right.
Like, I have to be there. I like to call the shots. I'm the director.
Right.
I'm the boss.
Yeah.
This is how it goes,
And he's with you, and you're supposed to be doing that together. So now they have all of these days where they're hanging out, just the two of them, while you're working.
Yeah, and I don't know for sure when it started, but I don't like my primary and our girlfriend or whatever to hold hands and be affectionate in public, just in a regular day-to-day. Like, if we're all holding hands, that's fine. But you two holding hands while I'm, like, pushing the car, like, that's not okay. Like, I just need to feel more equal, or higher up. I can't be last. It sounds dumb, but that's a big deal for me.
It is not dumb, because this is something that you started with him. So that's absolutely not dumb. Yeah. That is more than fair.
Well, I meant to people when they're like, you're letting this girl sleep with your dude, but you don't let him hold hands. Like, that's the... But
that doesn't matter.
My reasons, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just certain things I'm okay with and certain things I'm not. And that was one where it just made me uncomfortable,
And everybody gets to make their own rules and nobody gets to fucking judge. And just because you like to fuck whoever you like to fuck with your dude doesn't mean that there are other things that you don't want to keep for yourself. That's all.
And that's exactly kind of how it was. It was just, I wanted to keep that foundation, like that connection that he and I had. And I didn't want anything to get in the way of that. And like, I was already feeling distant in the bedroom. And then with stuff like that, like it just became too much, emotionally for me.
So what exactly did you have to reprimand them about? Like, what did they do?
We were all cuddling on the couch. And he was on the side and she was in the middle. Like, I kind of wanted to be on the other side because she was leaned onto him. And I just felt like I was just sitting on a couch next to two people that were cuddling. I didn't feel part of it, really. And so I remember when I had that conversation with him about it privately, I had told him that, I wasn't really comfortable with that. And he was trying to adjust what we'd agreed on and assure me that it was nothing to be nervous about or uncomfortable about, that it's okay. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to do that.
So he was trying to change the rules.
Yeah.
He was trying to do it in a very smart way because he was trying to get what he wanted.
Yeah.
So it was like, baby, no. I mean, let's just be free. No, dude, you know what we're saying here, and you know what you're doing.
Yeah, you're already having your cake and eating it too. How about we just stick to what I agreed on? And if there's a change, we can discuss a change between us. But, at that point, we had never had that conversation of wanting to change this or you wanting to change this. That never happened. We never agreed to adjust anything. It was supposed to stay the same.
Okay, so what happens next?
Like I said, little red flags, the whole not doing laundry or whatever. And so I decided to bring that to his attention. And so, I did it in a nice way. I basically just said, look, I'm, working a lot and having to come home and do dishes on top of X, Y, and Z. Can we talk to her about this? If I'm going to work all the time and you're not going to do anything, maybe you could fold those and have dinner ready or something. You know what I mean?
I mean, that really has nothing to do with being a man or a woman. It's like a partnership. So if you're home, just help each other out.
Yeah, help them out. Pitch in. Yeah, exactly. So he agreed, even though, he hadn't really seen any of it. And, he didn't know who was doing the cleaning. He didn't know who was vacuuming all the time. He had no idea. For the most part, I would come home. She's playing Call of Duty. I would start to clean or vacuum or whatever. She would stop. And then right before he would get there, she would start washing dishes to look like she had been doing stuff. Yeah. Or she would pick up the vacuum right when he was getting there. You know what I mean? To where I knew nothing had been done, but she was putting on a show for him. Ugh. Yeah. I was furious by that because who was actually doing it all? Me.
You.
And he did a lot too. He did a lot of dishes. And
so she's putting on this act the moment that he walks through the door.
Yep, exactly. And so that really infuriated me more than anything, honestly, because it was obviously an act and it made me look crazy. It made me look like I was wrong and that I was blowing stuff out of proportion or whatever, And
you were being jealous or just starting trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's how it looked, but that's not what was happening. And so, I was really agitated by that. I'd talked to some friends about it. I'm like, I don't know what to do about this. This is what she's doing. It's driving me insane. Like,
kick her ass out.
Just, yeah, exactly. And that's what I wanted to do. And so, like, I, verbally was like, we can't do this. Like, this is, she's playing this game and she's putting up this act. And he's like, well, Jen, I care about her and I don't want to kick her out.
Want to know what happens next? Then you'll have to tune in to the exciting conclusion of The Bermuda Triangle Part 2, where Jen reveals the craziest part of the story yet. You don't want to miss it. So just go to dumbforlove.com and sign up for our email to know when the next episode drops. I know I can't wait. And now, to our next segment. And now it's time for Jean's callouts. This segment is kind of our mean dedications, but not really mean because I guess they're just from people that have been wronged. That's what I like to think. And so some that we got in were pretty brutal. Since I don't know what the heck any of these people sound like since they send it via email, I'm just going to do my best voice impressions of what I think they sound like. So here we go. Suzanne Summer 22 in Wichita, Kansas says, Dear Anthony, sorry I had to change the locks, but you changed where you were putting your dick, asshole. Way to go, Suzanne. Makeup with Love in Carson City, Nevada says, It's fine. I'm screwing your brother anyway. Fuck off, Jared. I don't know what Jared did, but it must have been pretty bad. And last but not least, Coffee Wise in San Jose, California says, Jill, shitty way to tell me that the kid wasn't mine. Oh shit. Rotten hell. That's horrible. And that was Jean's callouts. Yes, they may seem brutal, but I want to believe deep down inside, these fuckers deserve it. Send us yours. We all know you have an ex out there that you want to say something to. And now on to my favorite news segment we like to call Love Declassified, with a special report titled Eating Out, read by the world-famous mountain climber, Cat Lady.
Greg, the bearded bartender at Longhorn in Brandon. Longhorn in Brandon. I thought we were friends. I enjoyed our conversations. You started a new job driving for Uber. Why won't you reply to my Kick? I miss your big brain. Please unblock me on Kick. I miss you.
Okay. So I don't know if this is really a seeking love thing more than I'm trying to track you down. So
please unblock me on Kick.
What I'm gathering is they just talked at the bar. So they were having like a bartender,
what it sounds like.
Customer relationship. And so I'm pretty sure he was just like, yeah, sure. Hey, why don't you, contact me on my social media or whatever. Mm-hmm. We'll chat. And then from there, it sounds like it went pretty bad.
Yeah.
So they literally blocked this person.
Blocked.
From everywhere.
Greg, the bearded bartender, straight up blocked them.
Did they quit? Longhorn, I miss you at work. You haven't been there for 3 days.
How do they know they started the new job driving for Uber if they blocked them on Kick?
That's horrible. They must have found another way in to see their stuff. Or they're talking to their friends.
Well, see, what's really messed up here is that Kick is a messenger. It's not social media.
Yeah.
They just found their social media. It's not even like Greg was like, hey.
Oh, what if they called and pretended like they were family at his old job and they're like, oh, hey, I'm his sister. And so he was supposed to be home at 6 and he didn't get here. And where is he working now? And some stupid person was like, oh, he's working for Uber. I hope she doesn't need a ride. I don't like this.
No, me neither.
There's nowhere really to go here good.
No.
It just seems like it got progressively more psychotic.
Yeah, it just got worse and
worse. I really like seeing you at work. It was really fun. I miss you. Where have you been? Where are you?
Yeah. It's not good. It's not good.
No, this is scary.
I'm really glad that the blocking happened.
We're sorry that we aided in bringing you this delivery of this message. But also, this might help you. Because if you feel like somebody's behind you, bearded guy at Longhorn, they probably are.
Oh.
All right, what's next?
Please stay safe.
Don't drink and drive.
I settled on chicken. What about you? Carrie. I saw you in the meat department and one other time. I wanted to say more, and I definitely would love to see more. I decided on chicken because I am a breast man and yours had my mouth watering. Want to meet again?
No.
Yeah,
No.
we can definitively answer on behalf of person who did not pick chicken.
There is a part 2 of this. I don't know if you saw it, but it's like, I like to make lampshades. Do you?
No.
My favorite choice of meat for lampshade is skin.
No.
Okay, so that's just like...
It's not good. It's not good.
It's gross.
Honest in the grossest way possible.
Yeah, you just seem pervy.
Yeah.
If you can be that pervy in that open of a place, what's going to happen when I'm talking to you alone or we're going to Longhorn? You know?
Oh, no.
Like, it's just not going to end well for anyone. Bringing people together.
Yeah, he went for it. It just didn't work out.
I picked the ground chicken.
Like,
because it made me feel like your brains.
Oh, okay, that's terrible.
I'm just, all of that is bad.
No, it is bad.
Like, let her pick her fucking chicken in peace, stop staring at her breasts, and nobody cares about what you prefer.
Yeah.
Jared.
Like,
or whatever your name
like,
is.
if he'd mentioned that they'd been kind of like risque flirting in the grocery store and said this, then it could have been cute.
Yeah.
That he went with this horrible line because they are just weird people together, and that would have been fine.
Right.
But just, we don't have any of that backstory, so it just looks really bad.
I reached for the ribs. You reached for my ribs. See? It's all... Yeah, this guy has no game, and he's just terrible.
Loin and you.
I mean, this is what I don't understand. It's not that difficult to be like friendly and kind of like cute and romantic, or maybe it is, and I just don't know.
I was gonna say maybe it is that hard. Is it just that difficult?
I guess so. Which is why you have to go with I'm a breast man. Meat pun. Ha ha ha. Please don't be afraid. Oh, God. Even Colonel Sanders wouldn't call this dude. And he's all about the chicken.
Yeah.
Bok bok. Let's move on.
Noodles at H Mart. Carrie. You, cute girl, tried to help me in finding plain noodles at H Mart. Doubt you'll see this, but who knows? Sorry for saying you should try the beef, as you are vegetarian. 4456143.
Okay, so we had to bleep part of that out because it's the person's phone number. But what is super psychotic is when he says he's sorry that he offered her the beef because she's vegetarian.
I'd like to think he's talking about the noodles, Jean.
I'm going to disagree, cat lady, because this is a dude that could have said that in a different way.
But the rest...
I'm sorry that I suggested meat to you, or that I suggested non-vegetable based.
To me, meat sounds worse than the beef.
You win.
Yeah.
You win.
Because the rest
I'm sorry
of
I suggested my meat.
The rest of this message actually sounds really normal. And I don't know if it's just that the other ones are really abnormal.
No. I'm going to stop you right there.
No, really?
I'm going to tell you something. Read how he starts it.
You, cute girl?
You, cute girl. That's all she is. You, cute girl.
I don't know.
Dude, no. You, cute girl.
Because the specificity is actually in their long interaction. Most of these have to use a physical description because they don't have a notable interaction.
But listen to what you're saying.
With the blonde hair.
They had a conversation,
the room.
which means he looked at her. He saw her eyes.
Right.
They spoke.
But I think that the description here is their interaction.
It could have been, hey, cute girl with the brown hair and glasses. You were talking to me about blah, 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 and you told me to stick my beef in the noodles, or whatever it is that he said. So, but he doesn't do that. It's just you, cute girl. That would bug me. You, cute girl.
I don't know. I'm not getting it like that.
I think you're rooting hard for the lesser of the evils.
That is entirely possible.
See, but look at where we are. We have come so far, and it is so bad that you, cute girl, is something nice.
I didn't say it was nice. I just said it wasn't horrible.
And they had such an exchange that he even knows that she's a vegetarian.
Yeah. I would have just put you, the cute girl who helped.
That's what I mean. Yeah. The cute girl, that was helpful. And I'm sorry that I suggested beef in your noodles when you're a vegetarian, which I don't know if that's code for that she doesn't like beef. Stop. Maybe she was trying to say, hey, I don't like beef. I'm a vegetarian. Get it?
How we're gonna
follow what I'm saying here?
I follow it.
That was her segue out, and he didn't even get it. He didn't even understand it, and now he's making an ad when she's like, "Look, I don't want your beef because I'm a vegetarian."
Yeah, so I think I too would be confused by that. Standing in the grocery store with flavored noodles. Also, what's H Mart?
What's flavored noodles? Isn't that what's in the packet?
Well, because he says he was looking for plain noodles.
And she was just holding the flavored noodles in her hand. Here they are.
Yeah.
I just imagine a bunch of noodles in her hand and they're like falling off.
I guess somewhere in this mythical store called H Mart, there is a section where all of the flavored noodles and the plain noodles are side by side.
Oh, that's so nice. Plain noodles and flavored noodles living together in harmony, bringing people's beef together. But clearly she doesn't want.
No, she's a vegetarian.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. She's a vegetarian. Get it?
Get it? Vegetarian? Meat-free living?
I'm having like a mental block. Did we rate these yet?
No, we have not rated these yet.
Okay, so we've just talked so much smack. Okay,
about this one Noodles at H Mart guy.
It's been too long. I've gone down the rabbit hole. Okay, so why don't we rate these?
Okay, best to worst or worst to best?
Let's do best to worst.
Okay.
Best being... Which one do you think?
I mean, I feel like a clear winner is probably Noodles at H Mart. It's written normal. There's no mention of anything weird.
Yeah, or nefarious.
They had a long interaction.
Yes, and you haven't even said anything, but I already know the worst one is the breast dude.
Yeah. I haven't gotten there yet. No.
No?
Greg.
Old Greg. Yeah, that is the worst one.
Yeah. Greg, the bearded bartender, is the worst one.
Escalated quickly.
So fast. Yeah. Imagine typing, getting angrier as you type in such a small amount of time.
So I have to ask, did it start off in tiny letters and then get all in caps?
It didn't, but it reads like that.
It was like, hi, Greg, there with the beard. I just want to know, where did you go?
Horrible.
Okay, again, like... I
feel like that one's the spiritual successor to Beautiful Blonde and Red Buick Enclave.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
From season 1, episode 1.
Well, no. This is a popular show.
Just say it.
Yeah, from season 1, episode 1. I mean, I just have to keep pointing out, I think it's a very sad day that our bar solo, that you, cute girl, is a winner.
Okay.
Is a winner. Because you have Breast Man who wants to make you into a lampshade, and then the other one who's like...
Who definitely wants to make that poor man into a lampshade.
Yeah, no, she wants to be in the trunk of his Uber as he's driving so she can hear him breathe. Make a left.
Cape Fear.
I like your radio choices. Is that playlist for me?
No, that's so terrible. She's just going to make more ads from the trunk.
Yeah. So one of these were from a female. At least that's
one.
That's what it comes across.
I mean, technically, Noodles at H Mart could also be from a girl.
Yeah. Okay. So people united, male or female, do a better job. You can do better. This is just...
You can definitely do better than Greg, the bearded bartender at Longhorn.
Or you, cute one, with the chicken breast in your hand.
Okay.
I know. I'm crossing the stories. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I just feel like there's a clear difference between Noodles at H Mart, you cute girl, and Chicken Man. And especially, I'm not even going to compare it to Greg the bearded bartender because that's not even a fair comparison.
Do better.
Yeah.
Or don't wonder why you are single.
I mean, no daps even just for the fact that they actually put their phone number in this one.
We don't know that. That could be like some sort of a code to find out where some body is buried. It's like a combination lock to where he's storing all his weapons. It could be like a geographical coordinates. I don't know.
That's true. I don't know enough about geographical coordinates to dispute that.
Samesies.
Yeah.
I flunked that course in geography class. I'm just saying, again, we have to give daps to the dumbest things.
You're right. No daps.
But you are right. And that is the saddest part. I am so looking forward to more of these because I feel like we're just going to keep going downhill from here. I don't think that they're going to get better.
No.
I think we're going to think back to this time and go, man, do you remember the chicken breast guy? I miss him. Thank you, Cat Lady. That was quite anomalistic. Do you feel like we left you on a cliffhanger? Well, then you have to tune in to the next episode, the exciting conclusion of the Bermuda Triangle. So thanks for joining us today. And we hope we made you feel a little bit better about that time you took your boyfriend back after he dumped you for your mom. Make sure to visit us on social media via @dumpforlove. That's DUMB, the number 4, LOVE. Or visit our website, dumbforlove.com. You can find all of these links in the About section of this podcast and episodes on all platforms. If you're enjoying Dumb for Love, tell your friends, family members, ghosts, and coworkers about it. And don't forget to rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review, and if we love it, we'll read it on an upcoming episode. And our favorite one at the end of the season will get the honor of receiving Gene Morrison's world-famous Brookies, just like Pop Pop, aka Abuelito, used to eat. This is Gene Morrison signing off and reminding you that we are never too smart to be dumb for love.
Dumb for Love is a Vex Network production. Copyright 2019 by the Vex Group, LLC. All rights reserved. Executive producers, Gene Morrison and Diego Paul Sanchez. Production and editing by the Vex Group. Additional writers, Aja Reyes, Jamie, Cat Lady, and Gene Morrison. Music by the Hush Brothers. Cover art, the Vex Group. Special guest, Jen. The word of the day was anomalistic. Our new segment today was sourced from Craigslist Missed Connections. All rights reserved. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Dumb for Love. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on all the platforms. And if you enjoy our show, tell your friends and donate to our coffee page. That's ko-fi.com/dumbforlove. For more information and all of these links, check out our website, dumbforlove.com.